I'm live. Hi, Wilma. I have a cold, so just bear with me. But welcome. How are you doing? And today I'm on my cell phone, so it's going to be a little different. I won't be able to put the the things I'm reading on screen. Um, so I'll be reading them on my computer, and then I'll be, reading it on the screen, I guess. So, Wilma, I hope you're doing good. I got some tea with honey and lemon for my throat. I'm having a dry cough, and like every time I eat, I get nauseous. So, my ears are plugged up. My nose is doing, I'm not having too much of a stuffy nose, so that's good. But the cough is what's getting me, I think, because then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm kind of tired today. But yes, honey and lemon in my tea, baby in my throat a little bit, and also since I've been sick, I've been sequestered in the house. I have not gone anywhere, and um, so yeah, it hasn't been too bad. It's not COVID. We checked for COVID. We already did the test. Hi, Wavy. Like, happy Wednesday, Wavy. I have a little bit of a cold, so hopefully it won't get too annoying. And so, since everything's on my phone today, it's very tiny, so I'll be doing this a lot. I do have my glasses right here. Hi, Hippy Dippy. How are you? So good to see you. Oh, oh, Wavy, what's sorry? I don't know what that is. And the slurping. I hope that doesn't bother you guys too much. I hate it when people slurp, but the tea is hot. So positive as always. Excellent. Excellent. So today, oh, that you're not feeling well. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. I'm hoping that this will pass fairly quickly. My husband is still sick. I started to get sick. Was it Monday night? I knew exactly when I got sick because I got a bad headache, and then I thought I was gonna, I felt very nauseous. So I'm handsome as always as well. Of course you are. Mm, Wavy, the weather is chilly. Yeah, I'm on disability, so I don't work, but my husband works. He works at Bob Evans. So the fun thing about that is he's around other people, and um, some people go to work sick, and unfortunately, he brought it home. So, so far so good though. As long as it doesn't get any worse. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm sorry you're sick. Hopefully you'll feel better soon. I hope so too, Joe. I'm hoping that this is the most of it and it's gonna pass. I don't want it to get any worse right now because I'm not going out. I don't want to get anyone else sick. But I have plans next week. Next week is my birthday week, everybody. And I won't be here Wednesday because my friend is taking me to the Cheesecake Factory. Yes. So yeah, disability. I have arthritis, bad arthritis, and so I'm unable to work as an electrician anymore. Um, yeah. Oh, it's so good. The food is so good there, and it's a treat for us because we have to drive about an hour away. But it's a treat, and we go for my birthday, and we go for her birthday as well. So it's something that we do every year that I enjoy. And yeah. So today, guys, we are going to talk about. My fan is right next to me. We're going to talk about addiction. I know we had an excellent conversation the last time we talked about it. So this is going to be part 2 because I don't think we ever hit the definition. So I think we were just chatting about it and didn't really hit the definition. So I'm going to read to the best of my ability. I found a really good article because I was wondering how many different types of addiction there are as well. And the Cleveland Clinic had a really good article. And you know that I enjoy their information is very good. And they're like the Mayo Clinic. They're very forward, very up on topics. Now I'm getting warm. That's what it is. Well, that could be hot flashes, but anyway, I'm getting warm. So what I'd like to actually do is the definition of addiction and then go over the different types that there are. So let's start reading the article. Okay, see if anyone else pops in. Addiction, and I won't be able to show you the screen because I'm on my cell phone. So I don't know how to do it on my cell phone because I always do it on my computer. So addiction is a chronic condition that can affect many aspects of your life, including your physical and mental health, relationships, and career. There are 2 main forms of addiction: substance use disorders and behavioral addictions. Now, I didn't know that they were classified like that, but I got it once I read it. Yeah, there's the substance abuse disorders and the behavioral addictions. Addiction is treatable. It is crucial to seek help as soon as possible. It's treatable, but it is not curable. Okay. Addiction is a chronic, lifelong condition that involves compulsive seeking and taking of a substance or performing of an activity despite negative or harmful consequences. Addiction can significantly impact your health, relationships, and overall quality of life. It's crucial to seek help as soon as you develop signs of an addiction. Hi, James. How are you? It's got to be like way early in the morning over there. I know. I've seen you on Instagram just recently. That last makeup look was gorgeous. Yeah. And then I was off for most of the summer. I didn't do a lot of lives most of the summer. 2:38 a.m. Yes, you've got to be tired. It is 1:30 here. 1:45 maybe. Yeah. So I have a very addictive personality. Everything I do big. I work on it every day. You have to. You have to work on it every day. Especially when it's like detrimental to your life. Like I have a shopping addiction. I have some other ones too, but the shopping is the worst for me. Like I said, I've been in rehab, but honestly, the shopping is worst because, especially when I worked, I would just spend and spend and spend, and yeah. So, the next question is addiction a disease? Yes, addiction is a disease. It's a chronic condition. The American Society of Addiction Medicine, ASAM, defines addiction as a chronic brain disorder. Addiction doesn't happen from having a lack of willpower or as a result of making bad decisions. Your brain chemistry changes with addiction. And I think we touched on that the last time we talked about it. Yeah. And Joe, my cousin, is like that as well. If she does something, she does it big. Okay, now we're going to get into the types. That was what I was curious about because I was like, how many different types of addiction are there? It says the 2 main groups are substance addictions, substance use disorders, and non-substance addictions, which are behavioral addictions. Substance addiction, blah, blah, blah. Okay, shopping is my worst. I literally feel like I have to get whatever I'm looking at. I've cried over material things I realistically know I don't need, but my brain says I do. Right? It's your brain. Um, and we're going to talk about that right now, how there's definitely a chemical imbalance in your brain. Hey, metal music. There is a difference between being addicted to love than being addicted to a drug. I think addicted to love would be the non substance addiction, just like shopping is a non substance addiction. So, uh, oh, she's saying hello, music. Metal music. We're so glad you're here with us. I haven't seen you in a little while. I know I haven't been on in a little while. I've got a cold. And I canceled the last two Wellness Wednesdays. So I was like, I have to go on today. And like, say if I get real sick and I can't continue, then that will stop. But so far, so good. It's like when I eat, it's when I get nauseous. So I haven't eaten yet today, which is very bad. I know. Don't yell at me. Don't come for me. Um, but if I don't eat, I can't drink coffee either. Oh my gosh, coffee just makes me so sick. And that's not normal for me because I love me some coffee. So it's more like a stomach thing. Yes, yes. I don't have the ginger, but I have the tea and honey. I should probably get some ginger though. Or I'm sure Wavy, they probably make ginger tea as well, right? Maybe the next time I'm at the grocery store, I'll get that so I have it on hand. Because this is just the first. He's going to come home with other stuff. And I need to get on my vitamins. So, yeah. So it comes in the tea. I need to get on my vitamins so I don't get these colds. But, yeah. What was I? I lost my. Oh, we're talking about substance addictions. Okay. Bigelow or yogi teas. Okay. I do like that yogi tea. I don't mind Bigelow either. Wilma's here with us today. Hi, Wilma. Has everybody seen Wilma? She's doing well. Okay. So I took my medicine, but my train of thought is, uh, you know, you know. Okay. Substance addictions. Healthcare providers and the medical community now call substance addiction substance use disorder. The American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual on Mental Disorders, we've talked about this, the DSM-5 is the easy way to say it, has concrete diagnosis criteria for substance use disorders. Substances are drugs that have addictive potential. They can be prescription medication or non medical drugs and include, okay, now we're going to go down the list: alcohol, caffeine. I am missing my caffeine so much. Cannabis, hallucinogens such as PCP and LSD, hypnotics, sedatives, and NXIOL, anti-anxiety drugs, and anxiolytics, okay, such as sleeping pills, benzodiazepines, and barbiturates. Inhalants such as paint thinners, aerosol spray, gases, and nitrites. Prescription and non-prescription opioids such as codeine, oxycodone, and heroin. Prescription and non-prescription stimulants such as Adderall, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Tobacco, nicotine such as smoking cigarettes and electronic cigarettes. E-cigarettes are vaping. So those are all the ones classified in the substance use area. I know, I'm dying without it. That's why I'm so tired. I couldn't have it. I tried to drink some yesterday. I put some cream in it and some honey, which is the only way I sweeten coffee. because of the diabetes. But um, I drank about half a glass and I just got so sick. I just got decaffeinated green tea. Oh, okay. I didn't know they made that. So, are there any other substances? Me too, Wilma. Me too. But since I've been sick, I've just been tired. So, but yeah, okay. Are there any other substances that you know of that were not listed? Alcohol, caffeine, cannabis, hallucinogens, hypnotics, inhalants, prescription and non prescription opioids, prescription and non prescription stimulants, tobacco, nicotine. Yeah. But yeah, I tried to have some the other day. Oh, my little baby hairs are sticking up. It's growing back right there. Um, yeah, so anyways, with the cold, I haven't had any, so I'm just dragging my feet, just sitting on the couch. But I need to get up and start doing some stuff because my back is just sitting on the couch since Monday. It's Wednesday, and I'm like, this is not, I am not meant to sit still. So, yeah. When I was hurting for 2 years, I got addicted to Tylenol. Okay, Wilma, that's not listed on here, but yeah, yeah. Like if you didn't have it, you had some type of a withdrawal symptom. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. While these substances are very different from each other, they all strongly activate the reward center of your brain and produce feelings of pleasure. Use of these substances can lead to substance use disorder. It's my tummy. Joe says, I would also say I'm addicted to Diet Pepsi. Just recently, I've tried to watch what I'm drinking. Even when I used to drink alcohol, I drank too much. I took a long break from alcohol. It's, we everybody has the thing, but addiction is mine is anything with caffeine in it. Okay. So Diet Pepsi is caffeine too. Maybe, that could be part of what that was about too. So hopefully alcohol is a bad one. My cousin passed away. She was young. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that is. And then I have several family members on my dad's side that have died from different types of alcohol. And I've told you guys, my dad was an alcoholic. I'm an ACOA. She drank so much every day. It's horrible how it just takes over. And that's what people who've never been addicted don't understand. Because some people don't get addicted. Um, Again, it's a brain chemistry. Your brain chemistry is different from someone else and they've already been talking about how trauma can change your brain chemistry as well. And that could say you never were addicted and you've gone through a trauma and you can become addicted because your brain chemistry has changed through that trauma. Okay, I'm going to turn the fan off here now. It's making me cold. Don't you guys hate that? You're hot, you're cold. Ugh. Her brother is the same way and he doesn't stop. Oh my gosh. My uncle finally stopped. He was in the hospital and he stopped. Yeah. Yeah. My whole dad's side drank so much. And like liver disease, a lot of liver disease. And then one of my aunts was actually a pill popper on my dad's side, but she also drank. I'm trying to think. And like I said, my cousin, she's on my dad's side. She's definitely got a lot of addiction issues. She's like Joe, like what Joe said, she just If it feels good, she just does it to the nth degree. So, but she's been in recovery for, I want to say, almost 10 years now. So she's been clean for almost 10 years now. So, okay. The thing I get easily addicted to anything, the one thing I will never abuse is my medicine. My brother went through that and it really affected me. He's clean now, though. Yeah. 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 That is awesome, Joe. Yeah. Because especially if they're prescription, that is the whole Oxycontin opiate, um, how it's so prevalent now, the opiate addiction. But unfortunately, because of how addictive it was and people overused it and abused it, that now people that need the pain medication are having trouble getting it. So that's an unfortunate side effect. But I watched that on Netflix. I can't remember what it was, but it was about the company, and it was Matthew Broderick, about the company that made Oxycontin and how they knew it was so addicting, but they claim they didn't, and that's why there was a big lawsuit and all that. Oh, I can become addicted to that as well. Chocolate. Oh. Now I'm okay if I go a day without chocolate, so I shouldn't say that, but I'm a sweets person and I should not be. Yes. Yes, I am a sweets person, Wavy, just like you. Oh. And I've cut down quite a bit since I've been diagnosed with diabetes, and so it's only like a treat now, where before, I mean, I could eat 2 or 3 candy bars at one time, and I don't know why, because I think I think I was depressed at that point, and just shoving the chocolate in my mouth, just something to feel better. I love good food. I cut down too. Yeah. hmm Okay. While these substances are very different from each other, they are strongly activate. Oh, we said that, but not always. SUDs, substance use disorders, can be mild, moderate, or severe. Addiction is the most severe form of a substance abuse disorder. Okay, the next one is non substance addictions. Behavioral addictions can occur with any activity that's capable of stimulating your brain's reward system. Behavioral scientists continue to study the similarities and differences between substance addiction, behavioral addiction, and other compulsive behavior conditions like OCD and bulimia nervosa. Is that bulimia? I'm not sure. The DSM-5 currently only recognizes gambling disorder as a diagnosed behavioral addiction in the substance of non-substance related disorders in the category of substance related and addictive disorders. So gambling is the only one recognized. So there are lots of addictions. Hi, Sylvia. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Um, so there are many potentially addictive activities, but the DSM only recognizes um, gambling as one of them. Okay. The DSM-5 doesn't currently include other behavioral addictions due to the lack of research. However, any activity or habit that becomes all consuming and negatively impacts your daily functioning can cause significant mental, social, and physical health issues, as well as financial issues in some cases. Oh, I'm so glad you're doing well. Examples of potentially addictive activities include gambling, eating, exercise, or dieting. Now, I went through that in my teens, the super exercising and the dieting. Shopping, shoplifting, or any other risking behavior, sex, viewing pornography, video gaming is called internet gaming disorder. Using the internet, such as on your phone or a computer. So, I have a cold, Sylvia, so I'm having some tummy issues. I would say Diet Pepsi, shopping, and my vape are my biggest addictions. Since I'm on my phone, I keep getting these messages. I'm sorry, guys. So they get in the way because the screen is smaller. So my screen is not. um, but yeah, Joe, mine would be. Um, well, I can become. That's why I don't diet, because I've been through that where. Um, I just, like you said, I just go overboard. No matter what I do, I go overboard. So I've had an eating disorder before. And so I know that if I get obsessive about dieting, that's just what's going to happen. So I don't do that. And that's not an excuse. But the exercise I do need to do. I don't diet just because I'm messed up in that way. And the shopping, my limited I did a budget. So I don't know, about 10 years we started budgeting, and that helped a lot with the shopping addiction. So when I do go shopping now, I try to be conscious of what I'm getting, because when we moved, I see how much stuff I have and I don't need any more makeup. But Joe, did you say you're getting the Danessa Myricks palette, or you got it? Because I'm hoping it's still in stock next week for my birthday. When I get paid, I'm going to get it. I talked to Miss Jamie, and she has it as well. So for my birthday, I'm going to get it. I just hope it's still there. Hope it's still there. So I'm just getting the palette. That's it. Nothing else. So let's see. What is the most common addiction? Alcohol use disorder is the most common substance addiction in the United States, followed by nicotine and marijuana. About 10% of people aged 12 and older in the U.S. have alcohol use disorders. Mm. My neighbor Joanne passed away Saturday. She was a longtime heroin. Oh no. My son called for a welfare check Saturday night after her sister came over and got no answer. Oh, I'm so sorry. And yes, that is one of the worst. See, they say the most addictive is alcohol, but I have to tell you, in the past 5 to 10 years, it's been opiates. People are dying from heroin, um, and fentanyl laced heroin and fentanyl itself. So yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, let's see, where are you at, Miss? I don't shop much anymore. I am already done with Christmas, and now I have been saving my money. Oh, that's awesome, Wilma. That's awesome. Like I said, when we started doing a budget, it helped a lot, but it didn't stop it. It helped a lot, but it didn't stop it. So I got better. But now that my income is limited, I am much better now, because I know to be happy, I don't need anything. Like the Dennis Myrick's palettes, I don't need it, but I don't have one. I want it so bad. And I was sad that I couldn't get the one last year, but I didn't have any income last year when that palette came out. I was not even on disability yet. So um, sorry about your neighbor. She hadn't been heard from since Friday afternoon. So sad they found heroin by her bed. Oh my gosh. That's too bad. And then there's another common thing as well. I don't know if you guys know. Someone goes into rehab or tries to quit um, doing opiates or heroin or fentanyl. And then something happens and they go to use again, and they use the same amounts that they used prior to being clean. So what happens is you don't have that the same tolerance anymore. Your tolerance, depending on how long you haven't used, is different. So if they go to the same amount, a lot of people overdose that way. And now I didn't know, but my niece, I've told you guys about my niece, she died from heroin mixed with fentanyl overdose. And she had overdosed 3 times before that, and been rescued. But this one time she was by herself, and she did not survive. So I didn't know about all that, and I understand why it wasn't shared. But yeah, it's very sad. She was only, gosh, I don't know. She had 2 kids. How old was she? 23, maybe? She was in her early 20s. So her babies were just like 3 and 2. And yeah. Okay. Every month, Jason and I give each other a certain amount of money a month. That has helped a lot. I got last year's Danessa palette. I didn't get this year's. I'm so sorry. So I do what they call cash stuffing. Boy, it works. I tried to start doing that, Wilma. I tried to. And yeah. Well, then we had to get the van fixed, and I needed some extra money, so that's where the cash from the cash stuffing went. So she has previously died 9 times or was brought back this time she was alone. Yeah. And eventually that's what's going to happen unless they get help. And you can't help someone who doesn't want help. I mean, you can talk to them, you can support them, but you can't make them get clean if they don't want to get clean. So it's very sad. And it's horrible that we have an epidemic of this in our country. You just have to stick with it. I am so happy with myself. I'm going to, once we get our emergency fund back up, I'll start stuffing again because I had one for the Hamptons, which now I'm not able to go next year. I always want to go to that Hamptons thing with Wicked Awesome Lifestyles where they have the YouTubers go and hang out for a week, and I really wanted to do that. So I think they do it every year. So hopefully next year, not the one coming up this year, but in 2024, I might be able to do 2025. And then my Jamie fund to go visit Miss Jamie, I had to break into that as well. So yeah. And now that she lives in Pennsylvania, I need to have more money. So, because we're going to have to travel farther. So you're saving up for Hamptons also. Oh, that's going to be so fun, Wilma. It's going to be so fun. They always have such a good time. I love Wicked Awesome Lifestyles. And yeah, I really wanted to go, but it is what it is. So, maybe I'll get, I don't know. I don't see any incoming money. So even taxes I'm a little worried about. So yes, they are all awesome. Yeah, and they always have such a good time. So yeah, I was saving up for that. Now, maybe if I start over saving, I can get enough to get there. But yeah, because it's pretty pricey to go. So symptoms and causes. What are the signs of addiction? Symptoms of addiction vary from person to person and based on the substance or activity in general. Signs include. That's true though. I call Erica's mom now. Oh, and she's the sweetest, isn't she? Erica's mom. Oh my gosh. She is so sweet. Let's see, what was I saying? Okay. But of course the symptoms are going to vary depending on the substance use and the person because the chemical imbalance in our brains is not the same for everyone. When you become addicted, like I said, addiction is diagnosed with a chemical imbalance in the brain. Oh, you are. Well, you're a sweetie too, Wilma. So that makes sense. Yes. Yes. So the chemical imbalance may be different in your head than my head. That, you know what I mean? It's so delicate in here, all the things going on in our brain, that, like I said, I've heard that trauma contributes, and then you can be born with a chemical imbalance as well. Predisposed to addiction, and like I said, my dad was an alcoholic, so, and his family, most of his family was. So that was something that I was aware of. And then I still ended up becoming addicted, um, or going to rehab for it. So I wasn't necessarily addicted to that, but um, I know I'm not making sense. I'm not making a lot of sense right now. I'm kind of stuffy and tired, but anyway, it makes sense that every person is different. That's why they can't pinpoint um, a specific, specific chemical imbalance, um, or a specific hormone, or what causes it, or is it in your DNA, or nobody knows. So, and then those non-substance addictions, like we were talking about, like shopping, sex. I'm trying to think of what else was on there. Gambling. Um, they don't do a lot of research on those for some reason. The gambling they do, that's why it's in the DSM-5. But I would like for them to start doing um, more research into the other addictions. Um, so yeah. So, okay. So, symptoms and causes. What are the signs of addiction? Um, Inability to stop. People may use a substance or engage in harmful addictive behavior even if they want to stop. They may have tried multiple times to reduce the substance use or behavior but can't. They may also lie to their loved ones about it or try to hide it. So, the inability to stop. Um, that's big. Um, because in those days of shopping, I would have buyer's remorse. I would buy too much stuff and I would not need it all, and I would return a lot, or I would forget to return, and I would have a lot of buyer's remorse, which then would make me depressed. And then if my bank account was low, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have spent that. You know what I mean? There's all this stuff that comes after that affects your mental health. So, increased tolerance. Over time, they may need more of the substance or activity to feel the same euphoric effects as they did before. And that is, I think that's more to the substance. It says activity as well. Intense focus on the substance or activity. People with addictions become pathological, preoccupied with the substance or activity. They may feel that the addiction has taken over their lives, and they spend more and more time craving, obtaining, and thinking of the subject of addiction. Lack of control. They may feel like they've lost complete control over their substance use or activity and often feel helpless. And I have been there. I have been there before. They may feel guilty, depressed, and are overwhelmed by their addiction and how much it has impacted their lives. Um, so we were just talking about that with the shopping. There's definitely, that's the worst. I returned a lot. I would be so ashamed returning stuff. Then I felt bad because I didn't have the product. I still get the urges, but I can control it better now. Yes. I totally understand, Joe. Yeah. Yeah, when I was in the midst of all the depression and just that one job I had for a long time, they would force us to work overtime, force us to work 7 days, and that was my getaway. And so I would shop and feel the shame too of returning the stuff, and of course it affected my bank account. I am better at controlling it now, but the urge does come. So what I started doing when I get that urge, I don't hit I don't hit the purchase or proceed to checkout. I let it sit there for a couple days. And then when I go back and maybe I'm not in that mindset, I can either filter out what I don't want or I just don't order it. So I totally get that, Joe. Um, Personal problems and health issues. Addiction impacts all aspects of their lives, including their physical health, mental health, personal relationships, and career. They may have issues fulfilling responsibilities at work, school, or home due to substance use or the activity. Again, despite knowing the detrimental effects of their addictions are having on them, they can't stop. Okay. So we have to kind of put coping mechanisms in place, like to get better at controlling it. But, excuse me, one of the things that we've talked about here in this article is that it's a lifelong thing. So we have to be conscious. Once we say, okay, I'm addicted to this, and we're more conscious of it, we can control it better, but I don't think it ever goes away. So I have to remember, like I said, when I start going through and throwing all kinds of stuff in my cart, I need to catch myself and not hit that purchase button and wait a couple days and then come back and see my state of mind and see if I really want or need those things. So that is a lifelong issue for me. I will always have to do that. Okay, so what causes addiction? There's not a single cause of addiction. It's a very complex condition. A significant part of how addiction develops is through changes in your brain chemistry. Substances and certain activities affect your brain, especially the reward center of your brain. And that's how we get addicted. That reward center. Because when you're depressed or you're sad or just stuff isn't going right, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to hit that reward center so you feel better. Um, Humans are biologically motivated to seek rewards. Often these rewards come from healthy behaviors. When you spend time with a loved one or eat a delicious meal, your body releases a chemical called dopamine, which makes you feel pleasure. It becomes a cycle. You seek out these experiences because they reward you with good feelings. And yeah, the meals, the delicious meals, yeah. hmm When I was in the height of that, even with that shopping addiction, we were going out to eat all the time, spending money that we should not. But food, and that's when I gained a lot of weight, was the food. So it becomes a cycle. You seek out these experiences because they reward you with good feelings. So substances send massive surges of dopamine through the brain too, as well as certain activities. Um, Massive surges of dopamine, as well as certain activities like having sex or spending money, but instead of motivating you to do the things you need to do to survive, eat, work, and spend time with loved ones, such massive dopamine levels can have damaging effects on your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. This can create an unhealthy drive to seek more pleasure from the substance or activity and less from healthier activities. Because, like, I think if you exercise, your body creates dopamine, but I'm not a fan of exercise. But like I said before, I can become obsessive, and if especially the eating disorder, I can become obsessive about it. And sorry, everybody, I can become excessive about the exercise as well. So I'm going to try to start exercising, and hopefully it will just help me be more healthy and it will not create any of those things. But I'll be talking to you guys about it. So I think I'll be good. As long as we keep it in the front of our minds that addiction can happen, that it's better than being in denial and saying, I'm not addicted to anything. Okay. Um, Feelings and behaviors. This can create an unhealthy drive to seek more pleasure from the substances or activity and less from the healthier activities. Over time, the substances or activities change your brain chemistry and you become desensitized to their effects. Then you need more to produce the same effect. For some substances, such as opioids, the withdrawal symptoms are so severe that they create significant motivation to continue using them. I don't know if you've ever heard people like I Watch Intervention, and I think that's the big one that I watch. And anything about drugs, I'm always curious. Um, that what was I saying? Create significant motive to continue using them. That some people who are addicted to, I'm going to say specifically heroin, but I'm sure it's other drugs as well. When they start to withdraw, they need to get at least enough to feel better, because the withdrawal symptoms are so severe. And I've heard that several times. So on this intervention. So usually you hear people who want the help say, I just can't stop. What was I saying before that? Okay, let me read it. When I could exercise, I did at least 4 hours a day, but nobody said anything because exercise is good. Exactly, Joe. But some of us, we still have to be careful with that. I know now it was a bad behavior because I was overdoing it. And so I'm, like I said, because I know that I am a person who can do that, and I do have my husband who can hold me accountable. I'm not worried about the exercise, but the dieting, I still will not try that because that's just so bad for your body. It was not good. It was very, very bad. And it's bad for your physical body and your mental body. So, or in your mental health. So, let's see. For Oh, they create significant motivation. Okay. Other factors that contribute to the development of addiction include genetics. Studies show that genetic factors are responsible for 40 to 60% of the vulnerability to a substance abuse disorder. If you have a first degree relative, biological sibling, or parent with a substance abuse disorder, you're more likely to develop one. Scientists are working to locate specific genes that may contribute to this vulnerability. Well, it's good that they're studying that. I don't know how that would help anyone if you know you're predisposed. If you care and you get the test, I mean, that's different. Someone who doesn't care that they're predisposed is not going to get a genetics test for it. So, and a lot of times, drugs or these activities can be introduced in your teenage years, and then they become addictions as you continue to use them become an adult. So you don't know if you're predisposed. You see what I'm saying? Am I making any sense, you guys? I hope so. I'm getting a little bit foggy. Mental health conditions. There's a strong link between addiction and mental health conditions, such as depression, PTSD, and bipolar disorder. About half of the people who experience a mental health condition will also experience a substance abuse disorder or vice versa, SUD. And I would have to say, I went at least into my 30s before I realized that I had anxiety and depression. So all that time I thought, what are you doing, cat? Hey. Sorry, guys. He's over here making all kinds of noises. Anyways, I got sidetracked. So I was undiagnosed with depression and anxiety for 30 years. I would say I definitely had anxiety when I was a child. I didn't know because back then we didn't know. But when I see articles about you could have been when you were a teen, You could have had, I didn't have depression, but I definitely had anxiety. And then the depression came in conjunction with it when I was in my 30s, and that's when it got really bad. So, and that's when I when I got diagnosed, and the addiction was all my life. I was always the spender, and spending more than I should. Okay. Environmental factors. Access to substances is a particularly environmental factors. Access to substances is a particularly significant environmental risk factor. Factors that increase the extent of exposure and the opportunity for substance use include the use of substance by a member of your household or your peers, and being prescribed medications that can be sorry about that. A member of your household or your peers are being prescribed medications that can be misused, such as opioids or stimulants. Adverse childhood experiences also play a role to the development of a wide range of health problems through a person's lifespan, including addiction. Now, like I told you, my dad was an alcoholic, so beer was readily available in my house. So I was probably I was for sure in junior high. No, I was in high school. No, I was in junior high when I had my first beer. It's okay, Jamie. If you hang on, I'll message you again after. I'm using my phone. It's no big deal. So sorry, you guys. I just. Okay. So, childhood trauma, I would say, also plays a role in stressful or traumatic events during childhood. They are strongly related to a development of a wide range of health problems. So, I understand the environmental and half. No, Jamie, you did. Hello, beautiful Joe. The only thing that is, um, no, it's still usable even then, but you did. I didn't. So, and you guys know how I know this is a cold. This is a dry cough, and it was making my throat sore because I cough all allergy season and all that, but usually that involves some sinuses, and that's not what's going on now. It's just a dry cough. I did do a COVID test, and I test negative, so that's not what we have. We have a cold. There's no fevers, but we each have a cold. So, sorry about that. Okay. Diagnosis and tests. How are addictions diagnosed? I don't know why my cat's being so bad. Okay. To diagnose addiction, you have your healthcare provider may refer you to a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a drug and alcohol counselor. Your provider will ask you and possibly your loved ones questions about your patterns of substance abuse or problematic behavior. I did take Mucinex, Jamie. My daughter's in the same way right now. Is the same way right now. She tested negative too. I think it's just the first cold of the season, and Keith, my husband, got it. So, yeah, I did. I am taking the Mucinex. So, I'm a little stuffy, but I'm not having any sinus stuff going on. It's all my headache is in the back of my head. It's not up here. It's all back here, and I never get headaches. And so I got a headache, a dry cough, and the nausea. So, like I said, hopefully it doesn't get any worse than this. Excuse me. To diagnose addiction, I already said that. Your provider may want to do a physical exam and may request. I'm going to have to switch to water. Even the tea kind of upset my tummy a little bit. That's weird. It's definitely cold. Your provider may want to do a physical exam and may request blood and urine tests. The tests give your provider information about your overall health. They can also help rule out underlying health conditions. Management and treatment. How are addictions treated? Oh no. Why is my battery low? Uh-oh. 227. If my phone shuts off, we'll just be done. And I'm sorry, but I think 20% should get me to 3 o'clock. So, how are addictions treated? Your healthcare provider may recommend a combination of treatment options, including hospital management. Certain substances can create withdrawal that can be dangerous. Special hospital units practice monitoring and therapy to care for you while you go through substance withdrawal. And like I've mentioned before, when I went to rehab, I knew I was drinking too much alcohol. But also, I was, for my anxiety, I was taking Klonopin, a benzodiazepine. And those two together can cause seizures. Well, now, I didn't know that. I had no idea because I didn't check it out, even think about it. And what they were more concerned about than the alcohol was the getting me off the benzodiazepines, and that was actually what I was withdrawing from. So I don't take those anymore for my anxiety. I take what's called Buspar. Buspar, and it's non-addictive and it helps me manage my anxiety just fine. So, but some people need something a little stronger. And what happened is I started taking off-label, like it was one a day, and I started taking two. And we'll get into that since we're talking about addiction. We'll talk about ACA, and I'll talk about the whole thing at one time, and that'll make more sense probably. But let's see. Okay. But yeah, so I went to withdraw, but it was mostly from the benzodiazepines, not the alcohol. So rehabilitation. This is also called sober living or residential treatment. Providers offer structured counseling, education, support, and encouragement during rehab. You may live at a rehab facility or visit one for scheduled sessions. Outpatient rehab services focus on helping you manage addiction long term and live a healthier life. And I was in there for 14 days. It was inpatient. So addiction is very hard. Sequestered from your family for 14 days was hard too. People that have an addiction don't realize they do. Trust me, I know. Yes, Miss Jamie. Sometimes you don't know. Like I didn't know it was the benzos. I thought it was the alcohol, but they were very, very concerned about my off-label use of the benzodiazepine. So if I hadn't gone to rehab, I could have you know, I could have gone down a very bad track. Because the alcohol I was able to stop. I didn't drink for like a year after that. So I know I can stop alcohol, but I think the benzos kind of that made them more concerned, and my addiction won't, because it made me high. It was fear of getting sick if I stopped. Yes. Sorry. Like I said, I'm a little foggy. So rehab, they changed my medications. Therapy. Several types of therapy help people with addiction gain new perspectives to change their behavior. Your provider may recommend types of psychotherapy, talk therapy, like cognitive behavioral therapy or group therapy. Now, I looked for an addiction specialist, and the place where I was going, um, the addiction specialist was not, I don't know, I prefer the peer type thing. I prefer talking to someone who's been through it. Do you know what I mean? Because someone who just went to school for it knows all the terms and things like that. Um, Maybe they can prescribe you medication to help you, but um, yeah, I don't know, you guys. We might have to stop here. My tummy is not feeling good. Okay. Support groups. Many people manage addiction with the help of support groups such as Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. Groups like Al Anon support family members and friends of people with substance use disorders. These groups offer people the opportunity to share experience and find ongoing support. And also, you have Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. But I don't think you find support groups for like shopping addictions. And then ACA is also under that Alcoholics Anonymous umbrella. It's not exactly the same, but what happens is you go to Alcoholics Anonymous and then you figure out, so I don't have all these things, but I still have something. And that's how I found out that, well, the therapist at rehab is the one who said, I think you're an adult child of alcoholic. She's the one that turned me on to that term. Never heard it before. And still don't see a lot of it now. So you should rest. I know. I'm trying to get through that outlook prognosis. When should I call my healthcare provider? I think we're over halfway through. All right, let's talk about prevention. Can I prevent developing an addiction? Avoiding or limiting substances that have addictive potential, right? Try to avoid or limit your use to non-medical substance and always follow your provider's order for prescription medication use. If you feel like you're developing a dependence on prescription medication, contact your provider immediately. And now what my doctor did say was that, see, at that time, I was in a deep depression when I was doing that. And so I wasn't thinking, should I ask my doctor if this is a bad thing? I wasn't thinking that at all. Okay. Prescription medication use. If you feel like you're developing a dependency, contact your provider immediately. Well, if you don't know you're having a dependency, yeah, yeah, I think we're gonna have to shut it down, you guys, because my stomach is not happy. It was just tea. It was just tea. I swear, honey and lemon, but still. So what we're going to do is, if you guys have any other questions real quick, we're going to talk about those, and then we're probably going to shut down earlier. So I see there's only one person here. Is that Miss Jamie? What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. And then Miss Jamie, I will Instagram you again, because I think I have to go over and get a new code. So, okay, so we're gonna stop right now. We'll finish going over this in 2 weeks. Like next week, I won't be here. It's my birthday week, so I won't be. Excuse me here, and hopefully I'm not sick because I don't want to be sick. So, I will, Sylvia. I will. And just like I'm hungry, but I can't eat. It's really. Anyway, I will get some rest and hopefully I'll feel better soon. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks and then we'll finish this about addiction. And hopefully by then I will have Miss Jamie her phone and we're still going to do that chronic pain panel. That is not going away. That is top number one thing I'm thinking about. Some rest. Yeah, I've been doing the the Campbell's chicken noodle soup, like the old fashioned one in the can where you add the water to it. That really seems to help. hmm But sometimes I feel good and I eat regular food, but today I'm just not. Like I said, I hope this is the worst of it. I hope this is. So we we'll not next week, but the week after, we will finish this, and then we'll go on to the different types of addiction as well. So, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for dealing with my cold. Can't even laugh. And I will see you in a couple weeks. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming and talking with me. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your help. And like I said, this helps me just as much as it helps you. So thank you so much. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye, everybody. Bye.